Now then YouTube, I am the TOFF man and welcome to a mod spotlight on witching gadgets. Well, welcome to a spotlight on witching gadgets, guys. It's one that I've been wanting to do for a while, not only for me to learn the mod in particular, but also to show you guys some of the cool stuff that's within witching gadgets. It's made by Blue Sunrise, and you can find all the links you need in the description below to be able to download, and also find the forum link page to this particular mod. Now, what is witching gadgets? Well, it's an expansion to Thaumcraft, quite obviously, and adds in a few different items and so on and so forth, which I'm going to go through in this particular spotlight. It also adds in a couple of crossover mod items between Thaumcraft and other mods such as Railcraft and stuff like that. Now, I'm actually playing this pack through the Blender SMP. If you haven't seen my channel, it's basically an SMP like custom mod pack, which shows some of the crossovers, but I'm not quite sure if there's more involved, so that I just don't have the mods in this pack to be able to show you guys. So without further ado, let's get straight into things on witching gadgets. Well, the witching gadgets page, guys, looks a little bit like this when you've discovered everything that's inside here. There's quite a lot of items for me to go through, so I'm going to be going through them right now. The first thing I want to show you, you've got to have found Arcane stone first, and it's called aging stone, which is very goddamn useful when you want your little ones to actually grow up quicker. Now, every young thaumaturge can't wait to grow up, but that would rob you of too many wonderful experiences. So instead, you've decided to channel your knowledge of such time-dilating arts into another form of arcane stone. Basically, guys, if you've got a couple of shards, a clock, and a couple of arcane stone blocks with 10 peditio and 10 ordo, you get an aging stone. Now, the aging stone will actually age up entities. So if we go ahead and breed these together, you'll end up with a little calf. Now, it will actually speed up the aging process of that particular calf or lamb or whatever it is that you're trying to grow up. It has a 7x7x5, was it? Or 4? 7x7x5 area centered around itself with more blocks, increasing the effect. And I've got 4 blocks right here, so that is doing its business right now. And that little baby cow will take a lot less time to actually grow up. The next item on the list, guys, is the ethereal wall. This is pretty nice, actually. You can craft it, guys, with 6 arcane stone blocks, a redstone torch, and a shard of any type with 3 terra and 5 ordo. It's quite cheap, actually. You get 6 of them. Now, you've come home from mining. You just want to go in your house, but you don't want a door. You know, because doors, they're physical. They're physical, all right? We are amazing thaumaturges. We're very good wizards. We know how to make invisible walls, so we can go ahead and do that. And these are ethereal walls, guys. They're active with a redstone signal. They're inactive with out one, so you can see that. If we shift and right click, we can actually get rid of the disguise that I've put on these. That's right, you can actually put a disguise on them. You can do so by getting any type of block that you want and right clicking on the ethereal wall. And to get the disguise off, you shift and right click, without obviously the block in your hand, to get it back off again. And there you go. So without a redstone signal, you can't get in, but with a redstone signal, you can. That is the ethereal wall. Oh look, the cow's grown up. Took no time at all. Okay, the next item on the list, guys, is the Thaumic Stone Extruder. You can craft it with a Thaumium pickaxe, a bucket of water, a bucket of lava, 2 arcane stone blocks, and 2 great wood planks. Doesn't cost that much in the way of essentia either, or aspects either. So, guys, what you need to do, this is basically a cobblestone creator. It's a cobblestone generator. And you just place it down and it will just go ahead and make you cobblestone. Popping it out of the front, nice and simple. Now it will, of course, go into an inventory as well. So if we put a chest on the front here, it will go ahead and pop it into this inventory. You can actually rotate this with a wand as well. Let's go and grab one and get it to this side so you can see that it is actually now rotated with a wand by clicking on the side that you want to actually rotate it to. And there you go. The Thaumic Stone Extruder. Now, to note as well, guys, if you've actually got that putting into a chest, when this chest becomes full and it can't fit anything else in there, it will go ahead and stop. You can also apply a redstone signal and it will stop the Thaumic Stone Extruder. Thaumic Stone Extruder dead in its tracks, so it won't make any more for you. Ooh, pass through the ethereal wall. The next thing we're going to go into, guys, you've got to find alchemical manufacture first, and you can find this in the alchemy tab. Once you've found once you found magic tallow first, alchemical duplication and alchemical manufacture, and then you get access to these couple of things here. The rose vines first, you can put inside here with some herba, Preditio and Precantatio, and what these things will do is act as a defense really for you. So if you've got an entrance, you can put them onto there. They will grow as well, guys, so be careful of that one. And you will get hurt, and so will obviously mobs and stuff like that. So it acts as a nice defense and a decorative defense as well, to be fair. We'll leave that one to grow so that you guys can actually see that growing to its height. I don't know, I've never used this stuff before, so I don't know if they will actually grow further than 1 block. I know that you can use shears. If we have a look inside here, spreading vines can be harvested with shears, so they will spread. So we'll see. We will see what happens with those over the course of this episode. But that is the rose vines. The next thing, which is alchemical transmogrification. Yep, that's a word, guys. Transmogrification is more likely to be used in a sky block kind of challenge. It will allow you to get grass by putting dirt in with some herba and victus. It will also allow you to get mycelium by putting some dirt in with herba and tenebrae. You can get sand by putting some cobblestone in with peditio, and you can also get flint by putting some gravel in with some vitreous, and you will get some flint back from that. It just allows you to be able to get those particular items that maybe in a skyblock aren't exactly easy to get hold of. Okay, guys, the next thing on the list right here is metal purification. This thing, well, you've already found it. It will be under alchemy. First, you've got to find the magical metallurgy, and then you've got to find metal purification to be able to unlock this particular tab. So in the past, guys, what you've been able to do is put into your crucible an iron ore or iron gravel ore, that becomes, from witching gadgets, into a crucible with metallum and ordo, and you'll be able to get a native iron cluster back. That's in the past. The thing what we've been able to unlock during this is the cinnabar purification also. You put cinnabar ore in there with a metallum and ordo, and you can get a native cinnabar cluster back as well. Not only that, guys, but it goes a little bit further with Tinker's Construct, and that is the Metallurgic Perfection Purification. So, this one will allow you to put aluminium clusters in from aluminium ore or gravel ore with metallum and ordo, and it will get you an aluminium cluster back. Not only that, but you can do it with cobalt as well. With metallum and ordo, you will get a cluster, and ardite as well, the same thing. A metallum and an ordo, and you will get an ardite cluster back. How amazing is that? Now the next item, it needs metal transmutation first, which is again another alchemy thing. It's on the other side of there. And this will allow you, well, in the past, what it's been able to do is you put an ore berry or a nugget in there and you'll get 3 nuggets back with 2 metallum. Well, now you can also do the same with aluminium, cobalt, and ardite using witching gadgets. The next thing to add to the list, guys, are infusion enchantments. You can see these through Artifice, which is just down here. The infusion enchant is right there. You need to find the infusion first, brain in a jar, and then you'll get infusion enchantment. And then you will unlock these new enchantments. One of them is the enchantment Throw Off, which moving around is incredibly difficult when someone is piggyback riding you. Enchanting your helmet with this repulsion spell should fix that problem. Everyone who tries to jump on you will get thrown off and damaged. So you've got the Throw Off with Salis Mundus, 2 pistons, and a handful of Essentia there, or a handful of aspects. And the instability is only minor on that one. You've got the Translucency, which is a pretty nice one, in fact. Armor is incredibly useful, everyone can agree on that. It will save your life in most fights, but it can also be a hindrance when you're trying to be stealthy. Say you drink a potion of invisibility. It works perfectly and makes you nigh untraceable for that clunky armor. But the skilled Thaumaturge fixes this easily, infusing his armor with magical elements, enchantments that make it invisible to the common viewer. Gemstone Dust, Salis Mundus, and Nether Quartz. If you're wondering what Gemstone Dust is, we'll get to that soon. Enchantment Unveiling. Every thaumaturge has those moments when it feels like someone or something is watching them, but they look around and nothing can be seen. With the right glasses, you can see those creeps and look right back at them. This enchantment can be applied to the goggles revealing or any other headgear of the same function. While wearing the enchanted item, you will be able to see creatures with the invisibility buff. Furthermore, the translucency enchantment is rendered ineffective when used by others, and users of the spectral mantle are shown more clearly. There you go, that is the unveiling. There is the enchantment stealth, which is pretty nice. More often than not, sneaking is not an option due to the high senses of the creatures you face. Well, now it is. Applying this enchantment to your boots or leggings will give you a chance of staying undetected while you are crouching. The chance rises by 10% with every level, this level by the way, but is diminished by 10% if you are in view of the target in question. Should you be discovered, all enemies within a 5-block radius will be notified. So be very careful. But the good thing about this is you get another enchantment as well called backstabbing. With your newfound ability to sneak comes a new option of combat. By attacking enemies from behind, you use the element of surprise to avoid the enemy's defenses. Items enchanted with backstabbing do an additional 20% per damage level when attacking from behind, plus another 40% when the target is not aware of you. So this can be a very, very powerful weapon, guys, if you manage to get backstabbing 3, and also if you catch them unawares. That's going to really, really hurt them for sure. That's 60%. That could be 100% worth of damage extra. So that is absolutely amazing to have. This next item requires that you find the purifying bath salts, which I believe are part of the Alchemy tab. Yes, they are. They're right up here, the purifying bath salts. Now, in the past, guys, what you've been able to do is use the Arcane Spa, where you can just like sit in the water that's mixed with some bath salts, and you can get warp ward for a certain amount of time. Also, the sanitizing soap will be able to help you get rid of some sticky warp, as they call it, on reducing non-temporary warp, and will remove all temporary warp. So that's what that will do. However, the Sauna Stove, this thing, wherever it is, there it is, this is pretty goddamn cool. You can craft it, guys, with some stone slabs, a block of coal, buckets, and, well, a bucket, and some great wood planks, with 20 ignis, 10 aqua and 10 ordo, and this will get you the Thaumcraft Sauna Stove. This can be automatically fed with water and will need water, and it only runs off water as well. So we'll go in here, guys, and the steam from the Thaumcraft Sauna Stove is actually stopping my warp effects. If we have a look at this, guys, and I'll go through it really quickly. While subjected to the steam, you are protected from warp effects, and you have a small chance of reducing your temporary warp. However, after a sauna visit, you will also be left quite hungry. Very, very important to note. The stove also needs only water to work, which can be inserted with a fluid container like buckets or pumped in directly. 1 bucket of water will keep the stove going for 10 minutes. How amazing is that? If you are a user of Enviromine, the sauna will also leave you thirsty and slightly overheated, but it has great effects on your sanity. It's a really kind of powerful tool, I think, and would be something that in my Thaumcraft and Britannia Unite series, this kind of thing would be really, really nice in an area where, you know, I'm going to be working quite a lot. But it does have the negative effect on your hunger. You know, you've got to keep that in mind as well. I'm creative, so you can't see that. But that is the Thaumcraft Sauna Stove. This next item, guys, is warded jars and labels. Right here, you've got to find it. And I believe it is in the Artifice, or is it actually in the... where is it? Warded jars and labels. I know, there you are. You're there. You're in the Alchemy tab. And it's right there. You've got to find Night Ore, Elementum, Essential Distillation, and then you can find the warded jars to be able to get to this one, which is right here. Now, I also, like, off the bat, guys, as well, I don't know, and I'm really not sure, if this search bar on the top here is also added by Witching Gadgets. I apologise if it's not. I've got so many Thaumcraft add-ons here that I really don't know which one added it, but I'm pretty sure it was the Witching Gadgets, but again, I can't be sure on that one. Anyway, the warded jars and labels will give you access to the Aspect Library. Oh my god, could I have used this in my Thaumcraft and Britannia Unite series. So the Aspect Library can be crafted with a book, a jar label, a table, and a scribing tools. And if we get one out, Aspect, there it is, and plop that down right there. If we go into this, with a label and pop that into there. We can click on anything that we want. So say, for example, I needed some herba. And then we can just grab the jar label straight out of there. This way, you don't have to get the little bottles. What are they called now? Vials, I believe they are. Oh no, spelled it wrong. Files. You don't have to get a file, then combine it with the label to be able to craft it. You can just literally come over to here with your empty label, put it into there, get what you want, click on there, and now you've got a jar label. How awesome is that? That is the aspect library. This is also something I really should have mentioned right at the start of this particular mod spotlight. These status effects, milk is not always an option. There are some status effects added by witching gadgets that milk can't obviously do anything with. When delving into the arcane, you may come across certain afflictions. This is a list of the known ones. There is knockback resistance, grants the afflicted a chance to resist knockback with a chance of 33% per level. Dissolving, the afflicted is covered with in a fluid akin to liquid death, damaging them over time. If they succumb to it, they drop crystallized aspects. Nice. Cinder coat, the afflicted is coated in magical cinder, which heightens the potency of flames. All fire damage is multiplied based on the strength of the effect. So those are some status effects to be aware of. Okay, the next thing that I'm going to go through is the Thaumcraft iconograph. That's right, guys. The Thaumcraft iconograph can be used like a thermometer. Now, you've got 2 great wood planks, glass pane, mirrored glass, 2 leather, and a thermometer with 20 air, 20 terra, and 10 order. Basically, what you will want to do, guys, is get your Thaumcraft iconograph, this thing right here, the iconograph box, and it works much like what a thermometer does, but you do need some mirrored glass in your inventory, right here. And, oops, let me get rid of that. And what you will want to do is hover over a block and right-click. And there you go. You've made a picture of whatever it is that's in front of you. And you can do this as well, even if you've already discovered the ethereal wall, for example, you've already gone ahead and used your thermometer on it and you've got your aspects, you can use it again on stuff that you've already discovered. So the iconograph plate will allow you to then, let me put that away, you can get an ink sac and a bit of paper, and what this will allow you to do is you put that into there with the ink sac and the paper, grab out one of those, and you get the developed iconograph. You can then right click this and you will get research points. Now the iconograph plate is still there with the ethereal wall, and I don't know, this is on the fly testing right here, guys. I don't know if you can do the same thing again with another bit of paper and another ink sac. Get another one of them. And it seems not. You've already looked at it, so you can't look at it again. But that was worth testing out anyway. That was worth testing out. But I think that what this will do is everybody will be able to get this. So another player can come along with an ink sac and a bit of paper, stick it into there, and you will get the iconograph plate, the developed one, for the ethereal wall. And then they can right-click it, and then they've got the aspects for it as well. It saves everybody, I suppose, discovering the same thing as what the other person is. It doesn't work in... it might work in creative mode, actually. I didn't try it. But there you go. That is the iconograph box, the Thaumcraft iconograph box. The next item I want to show you guys is the guiding thread. This is really nice, actually. I like this. Mazes and labyrinths once... Labyrinths, I don't know what they are. Were once a favourable way of warding secrets against intruders. The real danger, of course, is not finding your way back out. You can craft it with ender pearl, great wood log, and 3 bits of yarn with a handful of aspects there, guys. It's a minor instability. And this is actually pretty cool. I've made a little maze here. I am known as Goldfish to quite a lot of people because of the amount of stuff that I cover in mod spotlights and then I forget all about a few weeks later. So what you need to do, guys, is you right click it so it's shining like that, and what will happen is, oh my goodness, where's the way out? Oh, got a nice little bit of light right here that you can go back and follow everything that you've done. And you can shift and right click and it will wipe that from its memory as well. That is the guiding thread. The next item I want to show you guys is actually pretty neat. It's the Arcane abacus. Now this thing you can craft with 6 sticks, rose red, or any kind of dye, red, blue, and green with 10 order, and it's really kind of cheap for what it does. So out in the world, if you manage to find a node with an aspect in it that isn't a primal aspect, so it's a compound aspect, like what I've got here in Sano, you can right-click it with the abacus, and you can actually see what the primal vis is. So of course, Terra and Aqua are what goes into Sano and Ordo. So you can see Ignis is 42, Terra 31, Aqua 31, and Ordo 31. So that if you were to break them down into primal aspects, which is what happens when you do take a node and then, stabilize it, it would get 31 Terra, 42 Ignis, 31 Aqua, and 31 Ordo, which is pretty goddamn awesome. It doesn't stop there. If you've got an infusion altar, which is what I've got right here, it will be able to tell you what the stability rating is, or the instability rating is. So total stability booster equals 0. There's nothing going on at the minute. If I was to actually break one of these, so now we are lacking some stability here because it's unstable. We've only got one candle over here and it's not symmetrical on the other side. It will tell you that. Stabilizer at and the block that it's at lacks a symmetrical partner. Let's go and pop that right there. And now it's got a symmetrical partner again. If we go ahead and just fill in this entire space right here, so that it's symmetrical with each other, we can now see that we've got a stability booster of 1. And that's what the abacus can do. It's a really nice, neat little tool that's not too expensive, but can be quite powerful. The next thing is the part of the cross-mod interaction with Railcraft this time. It's the Infernal Blast Furnace. You've got to find the Infernal Furnace first, and that, I believe, is an inside artifice over here. It's one of the first things that you can actually unlock. So let's go back to Witching Gadgets and have a look at how to make this thing. Well, it's just like a blast furnace, really. It's just an infernal blast furnace. Burning with an intensely hot magical flame, this furnace is the thaumaturge's response to the engineer's tedious steps of cleansing their ores. It will smelt any clusters of metal thrown within it into 3 ingots, which the occasional nugget added to that. So that's pretty nice. That's a nice addition to that. Furthermore, should you require steel from other operations, the impure flame of the devilish artifact is a surefire way to get it. Simply throw in iron ingots or blocks and wait. The speed of this construct can be increased with the same means as the infernal furnace. For normal smelting purposes, however, the flame is far too hot, so don't throw chicken into it. There you go. Disclaimer: though the lava in this furnace has been enhanced by magic, it is still just as, if not more, dangerous. Any items not supposed to go into the furnace will be vaporized, as will any thaumaturges stupid enough to fall into it. So how to craft it? This is a little bit misleading, and it does say that on the right hand side there. I will show you how to craft this right now. So you need some infernal bricks, guys, so you can make these by doing infernal blocks, I believe, and then putting it through the chisel, if you've got the chisel mod, that is. I think there is an easier way of doing it, but I just don't have it to hand. At the moment, you can use it through chisel, though. So there you go. You can get some infernal bricks. You put it a 3x3, and then again, another 3x3. This time, with the stairs, what you want to do is place them in this kind of fashion so that they're all pointing in towards the center with the block of lava on the top. And there you go. That is how you make an infernal furnace. You just pop the stuff in the top, and it pops out the front just like every other. So let's go ahead and get some iron, and I will show you exactly what I mean. Bloop, bloop. Put that to there. It's now working. It's got a little bit of light going on there, and give it some time, and it will pop out the front. It's because I put a block in there. If I put an ingot in there, it might have taken a little bit less of time. Let's get a normal hungry chest, what I also like to use on the front of these things, and we'll pop that. In fact, can we pop that there and it'll just do it from there instead? I don't know if it pops out of this hole right here, you see. So I'll have to wait and find out. Well, the thaumaturge wouldn't be a powerful thaumaturge without having to change the world around him, and this is exactly what this bit is. You need to find the alchemical centrifuge first, which is part of the alchemy. It's right here, further on down the line. Once you've found that, you will then have the ability to make the Thaumic Terraforming. Now, this is actually a pretty neat block. It looks pretty cool, that's for sure. When simple gardening doesn't cut it anymore, when you would like to turn that depressing rain into beautiful snow, or when your blasted bees refuses to work in the current climate, that's when the Arcane Terrestrial Reformer comes into use. By placing a focus on the top, it will be attuned to a certain aspect. This construct will consume essentia of the respective aspect, as well as Terra Vis. Per 4 essentia and 4 Vis consumed, it will change the biome of a nearby coordinate within a 16 block radius. That's pretty nice. So you can craft this with iron ingots, 2 essentia tubes, a silverwood sapling, a balanced shard, and an alchemical construct, with 16 order, 8 permutatio, and 16 terra. The most basic of terrestrial foci represents the plains biome. For it to work, its magic, it will need to be supplied with herba essentia. Okay, so this terrestrial focus plains, and then this is how you make it, with 10 terra, and that will make that. So I will show you how this thing works. Let me go and grab the stuff, and I'll be right back. Okay, I now have this set up, and look at this. This is the terrestrial reformer right here, and this is the terrestrial focus on the top there. And we should notice that the desert, well, we've got a desert at the moment because that's all it is. We should notice this change over time. It's actually, wow, that is, are you serious? You just guzzled the whole of that. That is insane. Either which way, guys, it also requires terra. So I had it hooked up to this little thing over here, so it requires some terra. And do you know what? I think the best thing to do would be to do something like this. Pop that off. And then I can just keep putting it down like that. That's amazing. So that will go ahead and pump stuff everywhere. And I don't know how long this takes, and I don't know how much it takes. But this is taking a long time. And I don't know if it's... Oh, there we go. Look, we've got a bit of a plains right there. This is plains. Woo! So I don't know how much... It's beginning to change, like, certain squares of it over to it. So, you know, it's going to take a lot. If you're going to want a 16 by 16 area, like it can do, it's going to take a lot. Now, it's also worth noting you can get different foci for this. The terrestrial focus for desert will require ignis. Remember that they all require different stuff. The cold tiger biome will require gellum, or gellum. The jungle will require, what will you require? Arbor. It's not actually in brown, usually it is. And you can craft them like I'm showing here. The focus for hell. What? You do? Well, suit yourself. Supply the focus with Tenebrae, Essentia, and enjoy hell on earth, if you really wanted that. You can also have Mushroom, which will require Limus. And Tainted Lands, which I have no idea why you would want to do that. But you can with Vitium as well, with a crusted tin, actually, so you'll need a bit of silk touch to be able to get that. And you can get a whole load of different biomes thanks to this. It's a nice, neat little setup. It eats quite a lot of Essentia, though.